Hello, lovely viewers, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful News official YouTube channel. The Beautiful and the Brave. The soap opera community has been rocked by Luna Noah's unexplained death, which has exposed a network of deceit, treachery, and moral ambiguity that has caused viewers to reevaluate everything they believe to be true about the characters they have been following for years. The mysterious demise of Luna Natsuwa. The circumstances surrounding Luna Natsuwa's last hours have shown a startling fact about the extent individuals would go to in order to protect their loved ones, even if her death is still mysterious. Once an innocent college student studying fashion design, the young lady had changed into one of the most terrifying villains in the history of the program, leaving a path of carnage in her wake. Luna's life was on the line when she was taken to emergency surgery after suffering severe injuries in a spectacular gunfight. As Luna's health worsened on the operating table, the surgical team, commanded by Doctors Lee Finnegan and Bridget Forrester, fought against insurmountable odds to save her life. Throughout the intricate process, Luna's vital signs fluctuated alarmingly, and the medical staff struggled to stabilize her. The anxiety in the operating room was evident. The drama of surgery begins. Viewers saw the terrible moments when Luna's heart stopped beating and the frantic efforts to revive her throughout the operation, which was a masterclass in dramatic storytelling. In what seemed to be a successful surgery, Lee Finnegan was assisted by the renowned Forrester family member and accomplished surgeon, Dr. Bridget Forrester. By rescuing Luna from the verge of death, the medical staff stabilized her condition and seemed to have secured her recovery. But much more startling than the potentially fatal wounds Luna had received was what would happen after the operation. Both physicians were certain that Luna would make it through her experience as she was transferred to the recovery room. All signs pointed to a favorable conclusion, and the medical team had done all they could to assure Luna's life. Lee's heartbreaking declaration. As family members and loved ones eagerly awaited word on Luna's status, the mood in the hospital waiting area was strained. Lee Finnegan came out of the recovery section with a depressing message and a solemn manner. Lee revealed that Luna had passed away during her recuperation, despite their best attempts throughout the procedure. No one in the room was more shocked by this news than Dr. Bridget Forrester, who had been closely engaged in Luna's treatment. Given her condition after the operation, Bridget had been certain that Luna would fully recover, so she was shocked to hear Lee's remark. Everything that had happened while they were in the operation room appeared to be at odds with the news. Bridget's doubts were rising. Concerns over Lee's declaration were quickly raised by Dr. Bridget Forrester's professional background and medical knowledge. Bridget, who had been closely engaged in Luna's surgical care, was aware that Luna's vital signs had been stable when she was transferred to recovery and that her situation had been stabilized. Luna's post-operative condition did not appear to be compatible with the abrupt and unexpected demise. The fact that Lee had spent her last minutes alone with Luna only served to confirm Bridget's assumptions. Bridget was disturbed by the circumstances and timing of Luna's purported death and started to wonder if anything worse had happened in the recovery room. Her intuition and medical knowledge alerted her that Luna's death was not a natural outcome of the surgery or her injuries. Bridget made the decision to look into the surprising finding further, since it was part of her professional obligation, and she was becoming more concerned about the irregularities in Luna's death. Everything she believed to be true about Lee Finnegan would be upended by what she uncovered. Bridget discovered proof throughout her research that Lee had purposefully given Luna a deadly drug, so taking her life. A shocking violation of medical ethics and professional duty occurred when it was discovered that Lee had injected a hazardous chemical into Luna's body. Lee had sworn an oath to do no harm as a doctor. However, she had made the conscious decision to kill Luna when she was at her most vulnerable. The hospital and the larger community were rocked by the revelation of this medical homicide. Lee's detention and explanation. When Bridget learned the truth about Luna's death, she informed the authorities right away. Chief Baker made an arrest right away since the proof of Lee's behavior was so strong. Once regarded as a committed medical practitioner, Lee Finnegan was arrested for Luna Noah's murder. But maybe even more startling than her crime was Lee's reaction to being arrested. Instead of expressing regret or making an effort to retract her actions, Lee steadfastly maintained her choice to kill Luna. Before being arrested, Lee gave a terrifying statement in which she said that Luna should die no matter what. Lee's defense of her behavior exposed a very unsettling mentality that put her personal discretion ahead of the law and medical ethics. She maintained that letting Luna remain alive would have kept innocent people in danger, even if she had been imprisoned. Death, in Lee's opinion, was the only way to really shield society from Luna's harmful impact because of her immense propensity for evil. The intricacy of Lee's moral behavior. Lee seemed to think she was making a selfless sacrifice for the sake of society based on her last remarks before going to bed. She said that in order for everyone else to enjoy better, safer lives, she had given up her own reputation and future. This perverted feeling of heroism demonstrated how deeply Lee believed she was protecting rather than killing. Those who knew Lee and Luna were divided by the moral complexity of her acts. Although her tactics were clearly immoral and unlawful, others could see the logic in her choice, since Luna's reign of terror had in fact resulted in a great deal of death and suffering, leading some to see Lee's acts as a kind of vigilante justice. Family responses and conflicting allegiances. The extended family network was severely damaged when Lee's activities were made public. Poppy is fully aware that Luna's mother harbored bitterness and rage towards her sister Lee. Poppy found it difficult to believe that her sister had decided to kill her daughter, even if Luna had committed a crime. Poppy had trusted Lee to take care of Luna's medical needs, thus the betrayal was very painful. Lee's adoptive son, Finn Finnegan, similarly struggled with mixed feelings over his mother's behavior. He was appalled by Lee's choice to seek justice on her own, even though he saw the threat Luna represented and the pain she had inflicted. Even if his mother's intentions were to protect others, the realization made Finn face the fact that she was capable of murder. Steffi's contentious backing. Surprisingly, Steffi Forrester became one of the few individuals who publicly endorsed Lee's conduct. Steffi knew the fear and powerlessness Luna's presence produced since she had been one of her victims. She had been drugged and held captive in a cage that almost served as her grave due to Luna's violent and manipulative tendencies. Steffi's sympathy for Lee stemmed from her conviction that Lee had averted future tragedies, not from her condoning murder. She understood that Luna's behavior history indicated she would keep hurting others despite the potential for legal repercussions. Steffi believed that Lee had taken an impossible decision in an impossible circumstance. The assurance of legal assistance. Even though Lee's actions were contentious, Steffi publicly pledged to help her through the judicial system. In order to guarantee Lee a fair trial and maybe a less sentence, she pledged to retain the top defense lawyers in the area. Steffi's pledge demonstrated her conviction that, despite the fact that Lee's acts were unlawful, they were driven by a desire to save defenseless individuals from a dangerous person. This assurance of legal assistance brought to light the nuanced moral environment that Lee's actions had produced. Despite the fact that she had unquestionably committed murder, the circumstances surrounding her choice and the victim's prior criminal history made it appear as if conventional ideas of justice were insufficient to fully handle the case. The wider ramifications. The bold and the beautiful world as a whole is profoundly affected by Luna Natsua's death and the discovery of Lee's involvement in her tragedy. The narrative examines morality, justice, and the extent individuals would go to in order to keep their loved ones safe. It pushes viewers to think critically about vigilante justice and if there are situations in which enforcing a law oneself could be appropriate. The plot also emphasizes how complicated good and evil are, demonstrating how even well-meaning individuals may make decisions that go against the law and morality. From a legal perspective, Lee's actions were clearly wrong. Her goals, however, sprang from a sincere need to keep people safe. The exciting events that will take place on The Bold and the Beautiful during the week of July 14th will then be revealed to us. Viewers are ready for an emotional roller coaster and startling disclosures as the drama in the sun-drenched world of Los Angeles fashion and family feuds heats up. The complex web of ties, medical mysteries, and surprising alliances that have captivated viewers for decades will be explored in more detail this week. The Forrester, Spencer, and Logan clans are going to undergo trials that might completely alter their destiny, from sincere entreaties to clandestine actions. Let's examine the salient features. Let's start with the mysterious destiny of Luna Natsua, whose recent near-death experience has everyone wondering what is true and what is a cunning hoax. Luna's unexplained death and unresolved questions. After undergoing a risky operation that seemed to save her life, Luna Noah's tale takes an unexpected turn. At first look, the surgery, which was supervised by the talented physician Bridget Forrester, seemed to be successful, as the medical staff exhaled a collective sigh of relief and vital signs stabilized. But in a startling turn of events, Bridget exits the operating room, leaving Lee Finnegan alone with the defenseless patient. What happens during those lonely minutes? When the terrible revelation is made, there are whispers among the medical personnel that something went wrong. Tragically, Luna died while undergoing treatment. But without a doubt, swirl over the Forrester house like a thundercloud. Is this a complex cover-up? There is conjecture that Luna may not be gone at all because of Lee's evasive behavior and history of protective tendencies towards her family. Maybe she was taken away to protect herself. Or maybe this is a component of a bigger plot with long-kept secrets and secret identities. Theories of Luna waking up in a hidden place and reassembling pieces of her tumultuous history with Bill Spencer and Poppy Natsa are rife among fans. This surprise keeps viewers riveted to their screens by increasing the tension and laying the groundwork for possible resurrections, which soap operas love to offer. Bill's hospital intrigue and urgent pleads. Moving on to the ever-enthusiastic Bill Spencer, who often finds himself in hot trouble due to his exaggerated attitude. He is stepping up his attempts to get close to Liam. Steffi Forrester was the target of Bill's continuous pleading. As he begs for access to his kid in the midst of the confusion, Finnegan heightens the tension. As ferocious and uncompromising as ever, Steffi accuses Bill of planning Luna's release from jail, which she sees as foolish and dangerous for their group. Here's the interesting catch, however. The fact that Steffi is no longer Liam's wife raises concerns about her ability to control visitation privileges. Does she have such authority since she is a Forrester who protects others? Or is this going too far into topics pertaining to the Spencer family? Bill's annoyance grows as he walks the immaculate hospital hallways, maybe thinking back on the successes and setbacks that molded his relationship with Liam and creating a fresh perspective. To increase the emotional stakes, picture Bill sneaking in a sincere message or planning a quick, permission peek via a window. This battle emphasizes themes of redemption and forgiveness, reminding us that in the BNB world, Bill's daring deeds can make it difficult to distinguish between hero and villain. Liam's risky operation and unexpected fortitude. Then, the focus shifts to Liam Spencer, who is about to undergo yet another surgery that might permanently change his course. This time, Grace Buckingham, a skilled physician, is leading the procedure, while Bill is waiting nervously close by. The weight of his father's anxiety caused his typical assurance to crumble. There's a lot of speculation. Bill encourages Will Grace to proceed with the treatment when she tells him about a tumor that has been found. As Bill struggles with the seriousness of the choice, imagine Sunny Grace, with her calm hands and kind gaze, quietly outlining the hazards. The scene changes to one of those doctors after surgery. Bridget Forrester and John Finnegan are in awe of Liam's extraordinary fortitude. Imagine a moment where Liam momentarily regains consciousness, muttering words of gratitude or unresolved regrets, tugging at the heartstrings of those around him. Perhaps motivated by his complicated history of love triangles and corporate battles, Liam's fighting spirit shines through despite the odds against him. In addition to showcasing medical drama, this program delves into the inseparable ties that bind families, demonstrating how hardship can strengthen relationships via startling disappearances, Bill's audacious decision, and more. By the end of the week, the hospital is a disappearing hotspot that leaves everyone speechless. Bill takes extraordinary measures by snatching an unconscious right from the medical personnel, which is a move straight out of a thriller book. What motivates this bold theft? Is it Bill's urge to protect Liam from new dangers or his dread of further complications? Just the logistics are astounding. It's possible that Bill wills Liam out at night, dodging security cameras with deft timing by enlisting a trustworthy buddy, such as disguising Justin Barber. However, Liam is not the only one who disappears. In relation to Luna's purported death, Lee Finnegan is suspiciously linked to the unexplained disappearance of another corpse. Could be planning a double-dipping scheme, concealing Luna in order to expose a more complex plot involving the Noah family. By combining aspects of mystery and high-stakes adventure, these components heighten the excitement and keep the soap opera's plot moving forward. In Sadness, Mourning Luna, friendships were created. Key characters experience a heartbreaking wave of grief amid the chaos as they come to terms with Luna's alleged death. With their distinct viewpoints, Finn, Sheila, Carter Sharp, and Deacon Sharp join together in grief. Ever the practical one, Deacon may be privately of the opinion that the world is safer without Luna's tumultuous influence. However, he creates a new dynamic by stepping up to help Sheila and lending a shoulder when she is at her most vulnerable. Maybe Deacon and Poppy are aware that I will find something to agree with in their mutual contempt for Luna, having late-night discussions at Ultradino that turn into a surprising partnership. Hint of a developing relationship. Finn still experiences the pain of loss, which creates opportunities for a closer relationship with Sheila. Finn kept a careful distance from Luna because of trust difficulties. Given that understanding is fostered by shared emotions, this might be a pivotal moment in their mother-son bond. It's interesting to note that Steffi may be tolerant of Finn's grief because he is appreciative of Sheila's earlier life-saving deeds, which would add complexity to their sometimes tense exchanges. These sequences offer emotional depth by delving into themes of atonement, sorrow, and the unexpected way that Lee's grief brings even the most estranged family together. Prayers for Liam's survival from the United Front. Finally, Brooke Logan, Taylor Hayes, and Rich Forrester come together in a touching show of unity that goes beyond past disputes. Once involved in infamous love triangles, this three puts aside their disagreements to join together in prayer for Liam's safety. Imagine them getting together at the peaceful Forrester estate or a quiet church. Their lifelong bonds are highlighted when they grip hands and share memories of previous pleasures and tragedies. A strong front representing hope in the face of uncertainty is created by Ridge's unwavering presence, Taylor's empathy, and Brooke's optimism. In addition to praising Liam, this relationship suggests more extensive reconciliations, which might have an impact on future plots involving the next generation. We wonder how the whole ensemble will be affected as the week comes to an end, and we encourage viewers to watch what promises to be a memorable television show. That's it. Spoilers for BNB fans hint to a week full of tension, passion, and pivotal events. Don't miss any of the CBS episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful.